Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Arthur Game 16. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Will he take it? I don't know. Probably. Hey, film. Good morning, Baca. Hey, the 13th. Hey, Merelda. What's up, Maddie? Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Will he take the deal? Will he take the deal? I don't know. I don't know. Is loyalty really that serious? I don't know. I don't know. I live by the I'm a civilian, so I guess if they do it, I don't know. I don't know how they stuff go. I don't know. I don't know if my life is worth it. Like, I don't know. I don't know if his life should be worth it. I don't. To each his own, I guess. I say he should take the deal. I'm just getting the courtroom feed up, so when it does go live, we can definitely see it. You know, I was thinking to myself, I said, look, watch they decide that they don't want to show it. Like maybe they wouldn't want to show it because they want to kind of like protect them or something, and they don't want. I mean, but people would know. Like, would they have to put him in like protective custody or anything, you guys? Hey, Island Girl. Would you say you fell asleep? Morel, I really did. I thought that there was a slim chance that we were going to get that verdict last night after they had been gone for a while. Girl, I should have emailed you. You have to send me your phone number so I can call you when stuff like that drop. I was like, oh, you and OnlyFans missed it. I clipped it so you could see it. Not damn Donna. You got me tongue-tied this morning. Oh, wow. He probably won't be loyal to Melly. Okay, Island Girl. I'm thinking no. Like who I don't know, but I done seen different scenarios because we even got the Fulio case, right? Which is like similar circumstances, but it's a young lady, right? And her baby daddy, quote unquote, because I think she had a baby, was one of the people that's also facing the DP, right? And she hasn't flipped or said anything, not yet. And she trying to fight her case. So I don't know. Good morning, Jason. Let's see. Let me just make sure. And the judge was like, you're not even going to try to play like you don't know what's going on because I'm telling you what's going on. Now, you can roll the dice if you want to. You can try it if you want to. But you're not going to say that we didn't tell you or we didn't instruct you right. That's what you won't do. And the judge definitely told him that yesterday. Like that's not what you're not going to do that. Okay. So it looked like they are give me a second. I'm just looking to see. It looked like the judge is handling other hearings right now. So the courtroom feed is up. I'm gonna go ahead and share that.
Mr. Percio, I did read everything in the court.
Just so I can kind of have it up here and be able to monitor it. So when you come up, okay, guys.
All right. So that being the case,
Up here. But I have
it would probably be my intention to continue the hearing at this point. Mr. Gibson,
because I think the judge said he was gonna see him about 9.
let's put witnesses in jail. I just want witnesses.
Okay, so I'm gonna get a poll out here because I need to know what y'all think if he's taking this deal or if he's not.
Make a police report that a vehicle that you had rented for Andre McFadden had stolen.
No, I plead the fifth.
You have a problem.
I never rented a vehicle for Andre McFadden. I rented a vehicle for myself.
They recording everybody hearing today. Hey, Bobby.
Hold on, man.
Okay, give me a second. Let me get the poll.
Question. Witness answers the question.
Can you repeat?
What everybody? I want to know what everybody think before it happened. Okay, let's see. Let's see what y'all got to say. No, just so you aware, the judge is handling other hearings before he does have YNW Bortlen come back. So they do have the feed up. Law and Crime does, so they had the feed up. So we just kind of like waiting for them to call him up because they're handling other cases. Like I think the last case I just heard was like a rental case or something, and I don't particularly care to hear anything about a rental case. Like telling everybody business. Hey, P. Lolo's mom, you been lurking at work? Let's see here. So yeah, we just kind of like wait, and so I'm gonna look at this poll. Y'all got to make sure y'all answer before he gets up here. So just so y'all see what I'm looking at. So there's the courtroom feed. So as we see movement, I'll keep it up there. That way, once we see some movement, we can go all the way in there. Blueberry crumb. That sounds good. That's you bacon. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Oh, wow. Yeah, so I think that in the meantime, while we are waiting, I will play what he was offered yesterday for you guys. So while we're waiting, we can look at what he was offered yesterday and how the judge kind of offered it to him. I've never seen a judge offer it like this, but you know, who am I? You know, it's probably a lot of things that's been happening around this world that I don't know about, but this one was. So I'm gonna remove this one. I'm gonna add. And I'm still watching it, so y'all don't have to worry about that part of it.
I'm going to tell Mr. Henry this as well, but for his benefit now, if he wants to resolve the cases by way of a negotiated plea, that's fine with me. And if he doesn't want to, that's fine with me too. But the one thing that I am going to change, if you need me to, I can put him on maybe Tuesday afternoon, the 9th. I'd rather just not do it. I'd rather know yes or no the day before, because there's a significant, number one, I don't want him to feel any pressure. But number two, I got 250 citizens coming in here Wednesday morning, and there's this.
Afternoon is fine, Your Honor.
Yeah, if need be.
I have here at 3:30.
It's fee hearings, you know.
Yeah, so I don't really have to.
But I'm gonna be here, right? Okay. All right, so Mr. Henry, listen, I'm gonna put you under oath and ask you some questions, okay? It's only gonna be as it relates to the state's offer, and it's only as to make sure that you understand the state's offer and you understand the charges that you're facing here. We're not gonna talk about anything else. So just listen to my questions and answer the questions, okay? Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, all truth, nothing but the truth. Okay, you can put your hand down. Please state your full name. How old are you?
A kitty cat. Almost.
How far did you go in school?
I'm assuming this is one big bow, right?
You read and understand the English language.
Cute.
Are you presently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
It's
Have
fine.
you ever been treated for a mental illness?
You
Are
should
they giving you any medication in the jail right
the
now?
back of your dress.
All right. How are you feeling this morning? Your head is clear? You understand what's going on? All right, so Mr. Henry, listen, you got two cases. I'm going to go one at a time. In case number 19-1871 CF10A, right now, you're charged as follows. Counts 1 and 2 is murder in the first degree with a firearm. Those are capital felonies, which means it's a mandatory life sentence. If the jury convicts you of count 1 or count 2 as charged, that's life in Florida State Prison. I have no discretion. Count 3 and count 4 are accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree. Those are each first degree felony. The maximum penalty for each of those is 30 years in Florida State Prison. Okay. In your other case, which is case number 23-10643 CF10A, you're charged as follows. Count 1 is tampering with a witness in a capital felony. That is punishable by life in Florida State Prison. All right, as the maximum penalty. Count 2 is directing the activities of a criminal gang. That's a first degree felony punishable by life. So the maximum penalty there is also life in Florida State Prison. Count 5 is conspiracy to commit tampering. And again, as it's charged, that is also a life felony. The maximum penalty is life in Florida State Prison. And lastly, count 7 is unlawful use of a two-way communication device. As that's charged, the second degree felony. The maximum penalty is 15 years in Florida State Prison. So right now, as to all the charges that you're facing, the maximum possible penalties are as follows. It's life in Florida State Prison, followed by 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 75 years in Florida State Prison. Do you understand the charges and the maximum possible penalties involved? Okay. So, Mr. Henry, the state is telling me that they're extending an offer to you, and the offer is as follows. In case number 19-1871 CF10A, they're going to null process or drop counts 1 and 2, both first degree murder charges. Okay. And in exchange for that, as to counts 3 and 4, in that case, the accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree, you're going to plead no contest to both of those. And as to the 4 counts in case number 23-10643 CF10A, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 of those counts. And in exchange for all of that, the state is offering that I would adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to the bottom of your sentencing guidelines, which is 195.45 months, about 16, it's a shade over 16 years and 3 months, 16 years and 3 months. all of those sentences will run concurrently, that is at the same time with each other. I would give you credit for all the time that you have served, understanding that you have a lot less credit time on the 23 case because it's a newer case. So that is what would be controlling. Whatever credit time you have on the 23 case, you could subtract that from the 100
I think
and,
he actually has more time on the 23 cases than 19. He said.
oh, okay. Well, whichever case you have more time, less time in custody, that's what would happen. And you get the credit for all the time that you've served. And again, that sentence would be 16 years, a shade over 16 years, 3 months in Florida State Prison. I would have to order restitution. The state would tell me the amount of that restitution. That restitution would be joint and several with any of your other co-defendants. If any of the other co-defendants were convicted at trial or entered pleas. In other words, the restitution only has to be paid once, but each person's responsible for 100% of it. All right, but as soon as it's paid, it's paid. I would have to impose mandatory court costs in each case, and I would have to impose a mandatory cost of prosecution in each case, which is $100. So, Mr. Henry, do you understand the offer that the state is making to you? Okay, the 16 years, 3 months, and a shade more. So I'm going to pause on it at this point, Mr. Henry. It's going to give you some time, whether that be tonight or also over the weekend, to talk to your lawyers about it. Make sure they answer all your questions, talk to your family about it so you can make a decision as to what you want to do. Now, let me explain this to you, sir. I can't make the state make you an offer, and I can't make you accept any offer. I'm just the referee, okay? This is a business decision between you, your lawyers, and the state. And if you want to accept it and resolve both cases that way, that's fine with me. And if you want to have a trial in both cases, that's fine with me too. It doesn't matter to me in any way, shape, or form. But whether it be tomorrow, when I see you tomorrow, and then Ms. Wilcox, she already has tomorrow at 9 o'clock, that'll remain on. But I'll put them on both cases as well next Tuesday, which is September the 9th. Let's just call it 1:30 in the afternoon. September the 9th at 1:30 in the afternoon. We'll call it trial status in both cases. That's when we're gonna have to finish this conversation, Mr. Henry, and you're gonna have to tell me that either that you understand the offer that the state's making, that your lawyers have answered your questions about it, and then you're gonna have to tell me what your decision is, whether you want to accept the offer or whether you want to reject the offer. Mr. Henry, the one additional thing that I like to talk to people who are sitting in this situation that you're sitting in right now to have this conversation is as follows. The reason that I'm doing this is because I want the record to be clear what the state's offer was, and the record to be clear that you understood it and that you had enough time to talk to your lawyers about it. You had enough time to talk to your family about it. You weren't under any pressure to make a decision, whatever you thought was in your best interest, because it goes kind of like this. And I'm sure your lawyers could speak to it better than I can. If you accept the state's offer, that's fine. And again, if you don't accept it, that's fine too. But if you don't accept it, and one of these trials doesn't go your way, and you end up with life in Florida State Prison, which is a mandatory sentence on a lot of these counts, usually people in that situation, then they'll file what's called a motion for post-conviction relief, and they'll say, hey, Judge, my lawyer never told me. I didn't know that I could resolve all this for 16 years and 3 months. And if they would have told me that, I would have done it. And now I'm sitting here with a life sentence. So that's the reason I'm having this conversation now. So the record is going to be crystal clear on that issue. If it doesn't go your way, that argument's not going to be available to you to come back and say, hey, my lawyers didn't tell me about this, or I didn't know about this. So that's why I'm talking to you about it now. So, Mr. Henry, do you have any questions for me about the maximum possible penalties involved and what the state's offer is to you as we're talking about it right now? Okay. All right. So I'm going to pause on that part of the conversation, and we'll finish that other part of the conversation either tomorrow or next Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to leave you on for tomorrow, all pending motions, which is September the 5th at 9 o'clock. I have one other matter that I need to handle prior to that with Mr. Gibson and Mr. Percio. I don't imagine.
Okay, so they haven't started yet. That's the first thing I want to say. It's hearings, right? So he stated on the record that he had some other things to take care of before he would, take Mr. Bortlen's answer. But y'all see what he offering. He should have been like, Judge, I don't need no time to think. Captain, like, sir, like, I don't need to talk to anybody. I'll take the 16. I didn't hear anything saying that he had to testify. Did anybody else hear anything saying that he had to testify against Melly, or did I miss something in their deal? I didn't see anything like that. I think the state has determined that he was not the shooter. You know who they think the shooter is because they're seeking DP against him. He shouldn't be like, Judge, I don't need the 16 and a half. Man, I can do that real quick. Right? He only like 20 something, y'all. I mean, he can still get out and have a decent life versus to rolling the dice. And the judge told him, you know, you can roll the dice, and if they decide that you guilty, it's life. So he should have been like, hey. He should have been raising his hand. And aye, Captain. Yeah, Misty, welcome. Yeah, you say, right? I didn't hear anything in what the judge explained saying that he had to testify. The only thing that I heard him say that stood out to me is that he would have to plead no contest to the charges. So I didn't hear anything saying that he had to testify or anything against anybody. So, and you know, even with us watching his videos from yesterday, he has been in you know, he was on bond and he messed that up. So he was out on bond, but he couldn't stay out of the strip clubs. And then they found out that he was threatening witnesses or intimidating witnesses allegedly when Melly was going through trial, right? So they end up revoking, you know, pulling back his bond. So he ended up getting arrested. So he's been in custody since October 2023. So I guess maybe, you know, 2 years. I don't know if the 2 years count. I'm assuming they would. What do you think they're giving him the deal for, Sweet P? If he's not telling, why would they offer him a deal? I thought that if they offer, I thought that if they were going to be offering him a deal for his testimony, that the judge would speak to it, letting him know that he has to testify, unless that's stuff that's just in the paperwork that him and his attorney is going to review over. I agree with you, Jason. I just didn't hear it. I'm hoping, you know, if that's the case, you know, because typically what they'll do is when they go on cross-examination, you know, when they're defending Melly, they'll be like, well, hey, you got a deal to testify. As long as you testify truthfully, then the state has promised you something, right? Or you receive 16 years. See, I don't know. Only because I didn't hear the judge say anything. If I would have heard the judge say it, then of course we would know. No. I didn't think that. I didn't think that at all. I just didn't hear the judge say anything, Jason. So I don't know. I mean, I would think that. Like, what is the point? I mean, you got enough evidence to put him in the car. I mean, of course, if you going after Melly, but I would think that they want to take I would think they would want his testimony so they can have a slam dunk case. The 13th juror says the state is not offering a generous plea deal because the state are nice people. Also, the judge states the plea deal offer only. It's the state and the lawyers that go through the details. Okay, that makes sense. What's up, Stacy? Hey, pretty brown. Well, that's what that's what I'm saying. I don't know because the judge just stated, but I will hope that they are saying he has to testify, and maybe that's why he has to think about it, because him and the lawyer got to go back there and decide whether or not he wants to be a snitch. Yeah, so we still kind of waiting for them to come up. Let's see here. I know it was some people that wanted to come up and talk about this whole saga. Remember, we said we are gonna do a panel, right? I don't see JoJo yet. JoJo, if you out there lurking, don't be lurking. Let me know you here. So I don't know exactly when they're going to start court, because the judge did say that they were going to have some other stuff. So if y'all want, I can drop the link if anybody wants to come up and talk about it. Remember, we got to watch our language when we come up, because YouTube will do all types of stuff. And I think that's about it. No flashers. No, I'm just playing. I hope ain't nobody flashing this early in the morning, because I don't want to see any goods. Let's see. And I have the courtroom feed. And just a reminder, if they go live in the courtroom and you up here on the stage, then I'll kind of let you know, and that way we can jump down and actually watch the hearing together. And other than that, that's about it. So anybody that wants to come up here and kind of talk it out, versus to, if you think that he not gonna take the plea deal, I'm dropping the link. Please come explain to me why you think he will not, or if you think he's taking it. So my floor is open. Bada bing, bada boom. Love it. Hello and welcome. Okay. So this is just, plea deals are offered all the time if they feel they have weakness in their case or not a voice to the taxpayers' money. It doesn't mean that he's snitching. Y'all see that? I can see that. I can see that being a possibility. Yeah, but I don't know. I think they so thirsty for Melly that they would do it. Like they probably would want some of his testimony. I can't see how they wouldn't, especially with the last trial coming in the mistrial. But from my understanding, at least quote unquote allegedly, that I heard that they had the mom and the girlfriend of Melly now that's going to cooperate. But who knows? Hey, SD Surf Girl, how are you? Good morning, Cash City Entertain. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, we will. I'm just checking on the other screen, so when y'all kind of like seeing it, stop. I'm checking to make sure that they're not in court. You say weakness in regards to this case, you doubt it? Jason, I don't know. The first trial ended up in a mistrial. Well, I think because of the circumstances, because they said there was clearly a juror that was on there that was for Melly, and they were not going to convict him at all. Yeah, Stacy said the thing I can't get past is he brought the guys to the hospital in his interview. Yeah, his interview was wild. We listened to that yesterday. Let me see. And I said I would show the let me go in here and fix that, and then I'll show y'all that video. I'm just checking on the courtroom again before I cue up this video.
Welcome back. I'm Anjanette.
Regulated, prosecution has to case even got a conviction.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to find out.
So you said you moving on to the next photograph. What do we? The vehicle in question, what is it?
Okay, they still not in court. Here I am going to show my screen.
It was a Jeep Compass.
Is that the same that's indicated on that photo in the red lettered writing?
Yes.
Moving on to the next photo. What are we looking at in here? I'm going to zoom in here to the hood area.
That is another piece of evidence tape used to seal the vehicle in the same way that we sealed the premises prior to a search warrant. The vehicle and all of its entries are sealed prior to the search warrant being executed.
So for example, now looking at the screen down here at the bottom of the passenger side doors, that red item, is that the same evidence tape we've been looking at?
Yes, it is.
Moving on to the next photo. What are we looking at in this image?
This is showing the front passenger side portion of the vehicle.
Moving on to the next photo.
This is showing the exterior of the front passenger side and rear passenger side doors.
Have you begun executing and searching the search warrant at this point?
No, I have not.
So what is the purpose of all these exterior outside photos?
All these are to document the vehicle in which I found it when I responded to the search warrant, and all photos are taken prior to execution of the search warrant.
So again, going to the rear door seal, was that one still intact?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And the rear trunk seal, was that one still intact?
Yes, it was.
The initials MK that are on that, do you know who those belong to?
Yes, that is Michael Kelly,
And
which was my supervisor at the time.
You read my mind as to my next question. On the back, of this vehicle photo, what is the tag number of the Florida tag that was assigned?
India Echo Kilo Delta 22.
For those of us not in law enforcement, can you please translate?
IEK D22.
The India Echo Kilo Delta that you just used, what is that commonly referred to? The alphabet.
Fanatical.
Going on, what are we looking at on this image?
This is showing the driver's side exterior of the vehicle.
And going to the seals on this particular item.
Sorry, repeat that.
The seals right here on this particular area or item of the door, was it intact?
Yes, it was.
Moving on to the front door seal at the bottom between the front driver's door and the rear driver's door. Was this seal also intact?
Yes, it was.
As to the state of the windows of the car, had they been manipulated in any way while you were taking these pictures?
No, they were not.
Moving on to the final picture of the evidence tape here on the driver's side door by the A column near the hood. Was this evidence seal still intact?
Yes, it was.
What was the VIN or vehicle identification number of this vehicle?
3C4N JDD B2 JT 198929.
The first photo that we're looking at here was now inside the vehicle. Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you're documenting in this photo.
From here, I took photos of the exterior of the vehicle. Then the doors of the vehicle were opened up. And as is, without anything being moved or disturbed, photographs of the interior of the vehicle were collected.
So you say without being anything moved or disturbed. What do you do to make sure that you're not contaminating any of the evidence?
I wear gloves prior to each time touching the vehicle. And that goes with touching my equipment, going back to the vehicle, and vice versa.
The front passenger side view that we're looking at right here. Later on are the items collected,
Yes, they are.
and we'll get to that in a little bit. With what area of the car are we looking at here in this next photo? My apologies.
That is the area between the front passenger seat and the door jamb for the front passenger door.
Next photo, what are we looking at here?
That is the front passenger side floorboard.
Moving on here, the seats, did you manipulate them in any way before taking this photograph?
No, we did not.
Moving on into the next photograph, what are we looking at there?
Those are gold caps for teeth.
And so it's clear that that's a close-up photo from this rear passenger door. Is that a correct statement?
Yes, that's correct.
When we're looking out this rear passenger door, what are you documenting in this particular area?
I'm documenting the interior of the rear passenger door and the door jamb for the rear passenger door, as well as the seat and the floorboard of the rear passenger.
Moving on to the next image, what are we looking at in this photo?
That is a spent projectile.
So I'm going to go back a photo. Is that the same projectile that is down here?
Yes, it is.
Going forward again, what are we looking at in this image?
That is the rear passenger side floorboard.
So guys, did y'all notice that? Like if it's a drive-by, how do you get a spent case in the inside of the car? How does that work? Interesting.
and the items that were found there.
Continuing to the next photo, what are you documenting in this image?
In this image, you can see the partial back of the front passenger side seat, the, again, floorboard of the rear passenger side floorboard, the rear passenger side seat, and a projectile hole that you can see defect on the seat.
And so I'm going to zoom in on an area. Can you explain what you're talking about, the projectile hole?
Yes.
And you can use this screen to touch if you're to draw attention to certain areas.
I observed the defect in the seat. That is later on, not into detail.
Okay. Moving on to the next image here. What are we looking at?
This is the rear passenger side seat as well as the rear center console and cup holders and partial of the rear driver's side seat.
This area in the center with the two Sprite cans, is that how you found it, in the down position?
Yes, it was.
In this image here, can you describe a little bit about what's the red and white plastic item on the bottom on the floorboard? What is that?
That is a plastic bag.
What are you documenting in this image?
This image shows the trunk which had been opened, and in the photograph you can see the car manual and a jacket.
Did you disturb any of the glass? Did any of the glass move when you were opening that trunk?
Not that I recall.
What are you, in this next image, I'm gonna go back one. Did you open the rear trunk to get better photographs inside?
Correct.
Is this the interior of the rear trunk lid?
Yes, it is.
Can you kind of describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury as to how the trunk lid is, and how you're taking the picture so they can orient themselves in space?
Correct. In this photo, the orientation is staying at the back of the vehicle. The hatch trunk is opened up, and I'm looking upward at the interior of the trunk.
And so why did you take a picture of this white fuzzy stuff?
I observed a projectile defect.
Moving on to the next photo. What did you document here?
Is a yellow jacket that was found inside the trunk that I observed red stains on.
Why would you document red stains?
Because of the presumptively would be blood.
Did you do any presumptive testing at this point?
Not at this point.
Moving on to this next image. What are we looking at here?
This is the rear driver's side seat. From the vantage point of the driver's side door. Shows the driver's side seat, the driver's side floorboard, as well as some of the cup holders and rear passenger side seat.
Next image, what are we looking at here?
This is also another photo of the rear driver's side and cup holder.
Next image, what are you focusing on in this particular image?
This photo shows the rear driver's side floorboard, which has a Gatorade bottle, a cap, and a white plastic bag.
Moving on to the next image, what are you showing here?
In this image, this shows the interior of the front driver's side door and the somewhat of the interior of the front driver's side seat and floorboard.
Moving on to the next image here, what are you looking at?
This image shows the steering wheel, partial of the front driver's side seat, the center console, and the side of the front passenger side seat.
On the next image now, we have a little bit different. Why do you put these yellow numbers?
These numbers, at the time I called photo markers, now my agency I refer to them as placards, so I might refer to them also as placards, but these placards show and denote items of interest that will later be collected. And it's easier to recall back to a certain item and to show where that item is.
As you're documenting and collecting the evidence, do you use these photo markers in your reports and notes?
Yes, I do.
So to go back to the photo of 1, 2, 3, 5, where did you collect the items at photo marker number 1?
Yes, I did.
Do you maintain the liquids that are inside of them when you worked at the Miramar Police Department?
I do not recall.
As to photo marker number 3, did you collect the items of evidence that were there next to photo marker number 3?
Yes, I did.
Moving on to photo marker number 6, did you collect the gold teeth that were in that pocket there?
Yes, I did.
Item number 7, did you collect that item?
Yes, I did.
And what was that?
That was the spent projectile.
For item that's at photo marker number 8, what was that and did you collect that?
I believe that is denoting the pair of shoes. Yes, I did.
And to go to a better picture for photo marker number 9, did you collect the item at photo marker number 9?
Yes, I did.
And what was that?
That is a cell phone.
As to photo marker number 10, did you collect the 2 Sprite cans that were there?
Yes, I did.
Going on to the rear of the vehicle, photo markers 12, 13, and 14. Did you collect the various items listed in this photo?
Yes, I did.
Did you have help and assistance in processing this vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Who helped you?
Crime scene technician Tara Carroll.
Did you guys have a plan of attack as to how to process the vehicle?
We split up the vehicle into certain sections, and each processes areas of the vehicle and collected the items that were in relation to those areas.
So it's clear to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what section were you assigned?
I was assigned to the driver's side of the vehicle.
In your report, how did you write down which side you were responsible for?
In the report, it shows that swabs were taken from the passenger side of the vehicle, which was incorrect in the report, and was later shown as a correction in the primary receipts, as well as the original swab boxes that were collected on the scene.
So let's stop for a second there and explain, when you're collecting swabs, what are you doing?
I am using sterile distilled water, placing that onto a cotton swab, and passing that over, rubbing that over an area that in which I either believe there may be the presence of DNA, and that area is processed with the swab, then placed inside a sterile swab box, and on that swab box, I notate where that item was, or what item was swabbed with those swabs.
So let's go very minute, detail by detail. First thing you do is what? When you're getting the swab and you're ready to swab an area. You change your gloves.
Correct.
I want very precise.
Yes. I get my new pair of gloves out of the box and take the new sterile swab, open the swab packaging that is sealed and sterile, and open up a new sealed container of sterile water, and that water is then placed in drop form on the top of the swab, and then the swab is then rubbed over the area in which I intend to process.
Do you ever dip the swab back into the sterile water and sort of double dipping, for lack of a better term? After you swab the area, what's the next step you take?
The swab box is opened, the swabs are put inside the swab box, then that swab box is closed. And then I notate on the swab box what items processed with the swabs.
Do you complete the property receipt at that same time?
I do not.
When do you complete your property receipt?
The property receipt is completed later on in the office, when the items then get submitted to the evidence bureau.
When do you do your report?
The report is done following, usually when all work is done.
So in terms of the most accurate description of what is that swab is of, what would that be?
The note on the swab box.
So going back to the photos, in terms of the process and the timing, when you're doing the swabs, is it before these photos, after these photos, just so the jury understands the way you process the car?
The way I process it is I remove all items that are deemed as evidence, and I remove those from the vehicle. And then prior to any other processing, whether that be latent prints, the car is processed for possible DNA, and then there are 2 latent prints.
And to be clear, did you do any of the latent prints in this case?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Moving on to the pictures with item markers or photo markers 10, 11, 16 here. Were those items 16, 11 collected?
Yes, they were.
And forgive me. In terms of the numbers and the item numbers, was there a time or a number that you collected 1 through 15, 1 through 20, the items, and Ms. Carroll collected the others?
Yes, there were.
And do you recall which specific photo markers and items you were responsible for collecting?
I would have to refer to that report.
Would you looking at your report and refresh your recollection as to that?
Yes, indeed.
If I may approach that?
Yes.
Again, can you refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Okay, that being said, I'll ask again, which items or photo markers were you responsible for collecting numerically?
Items 12 through 20 were the items that I collected.
In terms of these photographs, they were all taken by you. Is that a correct statement?
Correct.
Moving on to item number 18 and 17. Did you collect those two?
Yes, I did.
19 and 20 as shown here. Did you collect those?
Yes, I did.
What are we looking at in this photo here?
This photo shows the trunk portion of the vehicle with the hatch covering the spare tire removed.
The processing here again at what location of the car on this photo or next one?
This is the front driver's side photo.
Okay, you have, and what photo marker is here?
19.
So what are we looking at here underneath the brake pedal?
That I believe is a spent projectile.
Is that then marked with photo marker number 24 that we're looking at in this photo?
Yes, it is.
And item number 23, the glasses case. You were documenting that? Sorry.
Correct.
On to photo marker number 25. Did you take these images here?
Yes, I did.
Photo marker 26. Did you take those?
Yes, I did.
Are these the items that were in the glove box?
Yes, they are.
in terms of this enterprise receipt that we're looking at here, does that vehicle description listed on this enterprise receipt and VIN number match the Jeep Compass that you've been looking at?
No, they do not.
And the name of the individual who rented this vehicle, was that on this enterprise receipt? On the, and not the Jeep Compass, my apologies, I'll rephrase. The enterprise receipt, did it have a name of a renter on it?
Yes, it did.
And what was that?
Jamerson Francois.
I'm going to move on to the next photo here. What have you done to document the scene in this photo inside this Jeep?
In this photo, it shows trajectory rods that were placed inside of the projectile defects to show an approximate path of the projectile.
Excuse me, can we approach? Sure.
What are these green, red items that are now in the back seat of the Jeep?
These are called trajectory rods. Like I said, they are used to show the approximate path of the
So just so y'all know, we still waiting. I did just see the judge just kind of get up. I don't know if he taking a break from the cases that he just had, that he was just presiding over. But I'm still keeping an eye on the courtroom. So as soon as it does come in, I will take us over there. Right now, we're just reviewing the evidence that they showed in Melly's case, right? I mean, guys, I don't know what you guys think, but with seeing this evidence that we're currently looking at, do y'all still think this was a drive-by? I mean, I know that we love these songs. I know that we like them as individuals or whatever the case may be, but I mean, when we're looking at the details from the incident and what's alleged in this incident and looking at the evidence, can we honestly say that they are innocent? I don't know. Melly did it and no one else. All the evidence points to him. Hey, the Louis Bagels has spoken. Aye. Look, I don't want no smoke. I agree, sir. Yeah, like I just don't. I mean, it's heartbreaking because I just really don't even understand why. Why? And then apparently they thought they were going to get away with it because he had Bortlen drive him to the hospital to play this all off, right? I mean, look, his name is Jamel Demons. Hey, Tanya. I don't know. I'm starting to think they did really do it. I don't know. I mean, his last name is Demons. I mean, that tells you a lot. I don't know. Sometimes the names that we are given, sometimes they don't help us out in life. I don't know. Did you see how these photos? How do you explain this being a drive-by? Okay, well, I'm gonna let y'all watch more because I don't know if the other guy gonna go to trial or not because he may take this plea deal. Now, of course, I want him to go to trial. Take it to trial, right? That's what this is about, right? Take it to trial. That's all. I want him to take it to trial. I want to watch. I want to be nosy. So yeah, I want to see how his defense is gonna do. Will he testify? I want to see all of that stuff. But in the same token, I want him to make sure he makes a smart decision, for his future and his, livelihood. So I don't want, yeah. Yeah, I really want him to. I want him to take the plea deal. But I mean, if you feeling bad, if you feeling that gangster, if you feeling like you got it, take it to trial, and we'll be right here to watch it. It starts next week if he decide that he don't want to take this plea deal. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and see some more of this evidence that they have, and we can play snippets from the other trial.
Projectile when it struck the surface.
How many trajectory rods are in this photo that we're looking at here?
There are 7.
Going forward to the next photograph, what are we looking at here?
This is the opposite side of the rear passenger side seat, showing the trajectory rods coming through.
Same objection?
Yes, sir, overruled.
Again, showing what?
Showing the trajectory rods coming through the back of the rear passenger seat and through to the front of the rear passenger side seat.
And can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how you place them?
The trajectory rods are placed through one defect, pass through the object, and then through the other defect on the opposite side.
Going forward to this next photo, all the other items of evidence have been removed. So I want to go for time frame. How long after the initial processing are we talking where you're doing these trajectory rods?
I do not have a time frame.
When we're looking at this photo here, what are we looking at?
This is the rear driver's side interior door and floorboard seat.
Looking here at this photo, what are you documenting and where is it in relation to that last photo?
I am documenting a projectile defect that was in the door jamb of the rear driver's side door.
And so I'm going to go back to the last photo. If you could circle a couple of times on the screen the area that you are photographing in the next photograph. Okay. And going to the opposite angle view of that. Can you again circle the defect so it's clear? And to get this photo, how did you have to position the rear driver's side door?
The door had to be fully opened and the defect had to be photographed from looking from the inside of the vehicle out.
So going on to the next photograph here, you mentioned prior that there was a projectile on the seat that you recovered.
Correct.
Is this the process you had to undertake?
Yes, it was.
What did you do? Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
I used a scalpel to remove the top layer of the leather, and it showed a projectile that was situated inside the funds.
Is this another view of that process?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Did you assign a photo marker to that item and collect it?
Yes, I did.
And what are we looking at this image?
This is an image of the projectile as it was removed from the phone to be fully photographed.
Okay. So those 65 photos that you took at the processing of the Jeep, is that? We've gone through all of those. I'm going to move on now to the photos that you took of the items of evidence that you collected. Investigator Carter, I'm now showing you it's been marked as states EE for identification purposes. Do you recognize those photos?
Yes, I do.
Did you have an opportunity to review them before you came into court today?
I do.
Do they fairly and accurately represent the processing that you did of the items collected from the Jeep?
Yes, they do.
Here at this time, the state requesting of state EE in as states 31.
Any objection?
No objection, but with the same representation that the disc contains only those photos.
That is correct, Your Honor.
No problem.
They'll be admitted with that representation.
States EE mark states 31.
And that is 21 photos. So starting here at item number 12, what are we looking at here?
This is the yellow jacket that was collected from the trunk of the vehicle.
What, in terms of the item number 12 that's on here as well, is that the same yellow jacket?
Yes, it was.
Is the number 12 consistent every time you're using or photographing something from photo marker number 12?
Correct.
The other item that we see on here, kind of the L-shaped gray and white, what is that?
That is a scale.
What's the purpose of having that in your photographs?
The scale shows the size of the item that you're looking to document. And the scale also has parameters on it that allow it to be fixed if not taken at the correct angle.
Understood. Moving on to the next photo, is this the opposite side of item number 12?
Yes.
What do you do in between items to ensure that there's no cross-contamination?
In between items, the paper on the floor where the item is placed is changed every single time. And my gloves are changed in between touching my camera and going back to the evidence.
When you say the paper that's down there, what is that? What specific type of paper do you use?
It's called a brown craft paper.
Is it ever reused during the course of the case?
No, it is not.
Moving on to the next photo.
Okay, guys, it's decision time. I'm gonna go ahead and put us in the courtroom.
Mr. Haddad, Mr. Nascimento present, for Mr. Henry, who likewise is present. So I heard the evidence yesterday in the defense's pending motion to suppress statements of Portland Henry. State, am I still correct? There's no other additional evidence, witnesses, or testimony you would like to present as to that motion? And defense, there's no additional evidence, witnesses, or testimony you would like to present as to that motion?
We would like to present the testimony of defendant Mr. Henry
Oh.
for the limited purpose of what happened.
Okay, no problem. Mike, can you hear him over there? Do you want to do it? Yeah, Mr. Henry, just, you can stay right there with the lawyers, just speak loudly, okay, so we won't hear the answers. Raise your right hand for me, please. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Yes, sir. Okay, you put your hand down. Please state your full name and spell your full name. My name is Plea, C-O-R-T-N-E-A, H-E-N-R-Y. Okay, sir, you may inquire.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Henry, we just want to talk about what happened in the hospital on October 26, 2018. Do you recall driving to the hospital? You got to speak up, answer yes or no, so it's to happen. Yes. Okay. And then at some point, when you were brought to the hospital, were you placed into a room? When you were placed in that room, approximately how many officers were present? 5 or 6. 5 or 6. And approximately, if you can remember, how long were you in the hospital prior to the 2 detectives arriving? You were there for a little bit before they got there.
Oh, wait, you said
The detectives.
the text on top of it?
And describe to me the room that you were in. Was it were you there by yourself with other people in the room?
It was like a private hospital room. We probably maybe like 4 different officers in the room. They had some outside.
While you were in that hospital room, at any time were you placed in handcuffs?
Yes.
Do you recall who placed you in handcuffs?
One of the officers.
You're saying one of the officers. Are you differentiating officer versus detective?
Yes. One of the officers that were standing in the room.
Okay. And while you were in that room prior to giving your statement, was there always an officer in the room?
Yeah.
And at any time were there any officers in the doorway?
Yes.
What were they doing?
They were just standing there.
At any time prior to giving your statement, did you feel as though you had the ability to get up and leave? What do you think, in your mind, what was your impression that would have happened to you had you tried to leave?
They wouldn't let me go.
Prior to you giving your statement to the officers, the detectives, at some point were the handcuffs taken off?
Yes.
Why?
They wanted me to go and take, they wanted me to go to
The urine set? Okay. Was there a bathroom inside the hospital room?
No, they walked me.
Okay, you said they walked you out, one of the officers.
One of the officers, one of the deputies that was standing guard in the room, they walked me out, they walked me into a separate, bathroom, restroom outside.
Okay. And at that entire time while you were providing a urine sample, was there always an officer with you?
Yes.
And after you gave the urine sample, did you get brought back to the room? And then at some point, there were 2 detectives that come, right?
Yes.
At any time during your interaction with those detectives, did they tell you to were free to leave? So then the first question.
Okay, cross-examination, go ahead.
Mr. Henry, you were taken into the hospital room for medical treatment, correct?
Yes.
You're aware that there is no urine sample in evidence, or collected in evidence.
As loud as you can. No, I'm not aware.
You stated you were handcuffed. How long were you handcuffed for?
Yeah, most of the time I'm there. And the room was.
So you were handcuffed for over 2 hours in that room, which you're testifying to.
Yes, until they said I could go.
You say twice.
Until he said I could leave. So I could.
Did you ever try to leave?
No.
Did you ever ask to leave? Did you ever discuss with the nurses that you wanted to leave? I'll show you what they marked as states for evidence. Do you recognize this picture? Who's that a picture of? And where are you? Are you wearing handcuffs in this picture? Just want to move stage B into evidence of stage 2.
Any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, states B for identification is now going to be an evidence that states Exhibit 2 only for the purposes of this hearing.
Mr. Henry, you agreed to ride with Detective Toyota after the crime scene? Where you said the crime occurred? Did you ride with Detective Toyota, who testified yesterday,
Yes.
out to where you said the crime scene occurred?
Yes.
And you were seated in the front seat with him?
Which I'm gonna check, it's outside the scope.
Well, it is outside the scope, but over the defense's objection. Go ahead, sir, you can answer the question.
You did not ride with Toyota. You were in the back seat. Okay. And at the end of your interviews with the detectives, they offered you a ride home, correct? They did not offer you a ride home? And they did not give you, law enforcement did not give you a ride home? No further questions.
All right, based on that, any redirect?
So just briefly on the photo.
Yeah, just real quick.
Mr. Henry, this photo that you were shown of you in the hospital, do you recall pictures being taken of you? Do you recall the officers taking photos of you? Was this taken before or after the handcuffs were taken?
Objection, Your Honor, I said it doesn't call for this.
Hold on, over the state's objection. Go ahead, sir. What's your answer to that question?
You said you recall some photos being taken. Those photos that you recall being taken, were they taken before or after the handcuffs were taken? After. No further questions.
Based on that, any recross? Mr. Henry, I got a couple questions for you. You didn't get arrested that day, correct? How'd you get home? Someone came and picked you up at the hospital? And do you know what the time period was between that day and when you actually did get arrested?
That was October 26th. I was arrested January 28th.
All right, state, based on my questions, do you have any additional questions? Defense, based on my questions, do you have any additional questions?
No, no.
Okay. Defense, any additional evidence, witnesses, or testimony regarding the motion to suppress?
No, sir.
Okay, so it's just argument. So, defense, it's your motion, so when you're ready, take your time. Your argument in support of your motion to suppress, and I assume you want to suppress, well, I heard, which I think is contained on State's Exhibit 1, for this hearing, there's two statements. There's a longer statement that's about 40-something minutes, and then there's a very short one, which is like 2.5 minutes. You want to suppress everything. Okay, go ahead, sir.
He was not Mirandized, as we know. I think the state was sticking to that. But what the issue is obviously, he was not at the police station. It's an issue of whether he was in a situation where he should have been Mirandized. Whether the interrogation, as it were, constitutes an interrogation, whether or not it's custodial. Now, the defendant, the police had a shooting. We heard the testimony that a car arrived at the hospital with two bodies. Mr. Henry was driving the car. Two bodies were taken into the hospital. Mr. Henry was taken to the hospital. And he told the nurse or somebody that was there that there was a drive-by shooting. He explained to him where it happened. We know from what the detectives testified, other police people, personnel, that were present and talked to Mr. Henry, then went out and walked the scene, canvassed the scene, looking for evidence of a drive-by shooting. They were unable to find evidence of the drive-by shooting, and the detectives came and talked to Mr. Henry. You've heard the tape, and I just want to quote from this transcript of it. The defendant is confronted with, as he said, the police corroborated there were at least 5 or 6 cops in the room, everybody around him. He was in a situation where he's, I'm going to call it a custodial situation when we get to that point. But at any rate, the statement was, the defendant is confronted with Bertrand and Moretti. Hey, Henry. Hey, man, how you doing? What's up, man? How you guys doing? Hey, my name's Detective Bertrand, and this is Detective Mark Moretti. We're here to talk to you about what happened, okay? Listen, you need to be straight up with us and tell us what happened here. My understanding, you told these officers something, but the evidence doesn't show that happened right here. That's confronting the defendant with something that's implying I'm already saying he committed a crime there. He was lying to the police. So we know that they're confronting him with evidence of falsehood. Should he have been Mirandized, because the rest of the statement is what they used to formulate the rest of the case. And I would submit to the court that the police had a duty to Mirandize him under that situation. They formulated, they have a crime, there's no question a crime committed, occurred. They called it crime scene. The scene at the hospital was taped off. It was an active crime scene. Half the Miramar Police Department were there. 5 or 6 people were guarding him. He's in a situation where any person would feel they were not free to leave. He's in a hospital where people, he said there was 4 in the room with him. The detective corroborated there were a bunch of policemen that surrounded him. Was there a duty to Mirandize him? I submit to the court that in this situation, the defendant was, well, according from Hunter, Miranda warnings are required when an individual is undergoing custodial interrogation. That's this court, this is the Supreme Court, as this court has explained. A person is in custody if a reasonable person placed in the same situation to his or her freedom of action is curtailed to a degree associated with the actual arrest. The proper inquiry is not the unarticulated plan of the police, but how a reasonable person in the suspect's position would have perceived the situation. Would a reasonable person in the situation of Mr. Henry have felt like he was not free to leave? Would he have felt like he was under arrest? The answer is obviously yes. He's there, some crime occurred. He is in a situation where the police are telling him they don't believe what he said happened. They made it clear that they think he's lying to the police. How would a reasonable person perceive the situation? You're in a hospital bed, you have policemen all around you, you're being accused of lying to the police. Would a person perceive the situation as one where they're free to leave? I submit to the court on the totality of circumstances, they would not. I concede the cases state that a hospital room is not necessarily the equivalent of a police station, but it's not the place where the inquiry occurred. It's how the inquiry occurred and what the situation is, how the suspect perceives it. Any reasonable person, it's a reasonable man's man, as to whether a person will reasonably believe they were in a situation.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Just pause 1 second. This is Martin.
All right, Mr. Henry, I apologize. That wasn't regarding a medical issue, I wasn't taking the call. I apologize, go ahead.
I can go to Russ versus State, which is, court, which they relied on it so heavily in its motion because it was a hospital situation. The, court stated, quite correctly, police are not required to give Miranda every potential suspect. Miranda warnings only apply in custody investigations, court cases. Then it goes on to say the reasons for Miranda warnings at this stage because interrogation and certain custodial circumstances inherently coercive. Statements made under these circumstances are inadmissible unless the suspect is specifically warned of Miranda rights until he decides to waive those rights. And then it says for Miranda purposes, custodial question interrogation means questions initiated by law enforcement officer after a person has been taken into custody or importantly is otherwise deprived of his freedom of action anyway. The determination of whether a person is in custody for purposes of Miranda is how a reasonable person in the suspect's situation would perceive the circumstances, relying on Yarborough in those cases. A person is in custody, quoting from Hunter, a person is in custody if a reasonable person in the same position would believe that his or her action, freedom of action, was curtailed to a degree associated with actual arrest. And I quoted that before. And that's the situation we have here. The defendant is in a room. He is confronted by the police that they don't believe what he's telling them. That he's lying to them and they have to come clean. And then he's not Mirandized. He's surrounded by a bunch of police. He goes to the bathroom. He has police taking him to the bathroom. He's in a room where the police agree he's surrounded by police. They said there's a bunch of police, but 4 or 5 sound reasonable from what the defendant is saying. They're consistent with what already testified to. It's how many police are here. He's in a room. It's a confined place. He's got policemen around him, and he's confronted with evidence that he's lied to the police. Should he have been Mirandized? Absolutely. It's a statement that is going to be used against him in the obstruction case or accessory case. He should have been Mirandized. I think under the circumstances testified to as to how this occurred, the defense will have some Miranda warning under all the cases given. Thank you.
State. Yes, Judge. Starting with Mr. Henry's testimony, he's clearly not being forthright with the court. As Detective Cox or Officer Cox testified to, when he first got to the scene, Mr. Henry was sitting outside on a stone bench when he went over and asked him what was going on. When he is questioned in the room by the detectives, they testified that he was not handcuffed. In the photograph, he is not handcuffed. Detective Toyota takes him on a ride. If he was really a security risk, if he was really somebody they thought was a suspect, Detective Toyota never would have taken him on that ride, and they never would have offered him a ride home. That offer for the ride home is at the end of that reporting, where they say, like, we're going to make arrangements to take you home. He was not a suspect. As the officers all, excuse me, the officers all testified, they thought he was a victim. He was receiving medical treatment because, as the defendant stated, he was among the people being shot at. So when we look at whether something is custodial or not, it's the Ramirez test, as outlined in Ross, which is the manner in which the police summoned him for questioning. He was not summoned. He brought himself to the hospital. The hospital was a crime scene. There were officers there, crime scene was there, they were processing the vehicle, they were processing the deceased, they were processing for evidence, potentially evidence physically located on Mr. Henry as a victim. The fact that the court heard the purpose, place, and manner of the questioning. This questioning was non-confrontational. He's not confronted with any evidence. They're not saying, you know, we found bullet casings, not saying we found GSR. The confrontation is, we don't think this happened where you said it happened. And if you look at the transcript, you read the transcript, you can see that. Because on page 9 of the transcript, they're like, look, here's a crude drawing. Did you guys get off the ramp here? Did you drive past the Chick-fil-A? They're trying to figure out where this happened. Is I think 2 of the officers joked, we were trying to figure out if we even had jurisdiction over this case, depending upon where it actually occurred. There were not 5 or 6 officers in the room. That never happened. What the officers said, testified to, is that there were officers around, you know, nearby, and there were, because this was a crime scene. There was an active shooter loose based upon what Mr. Henry told police, because he was a victim of a drive-by, which means somebody is driving around shooting up vehicles. So of course police are going to respond to that. But he's not confronted with any evidence of guilt, and even if he is, the court's considering that, as I cite to in, Pitts, which is very parallel to this case at the end of my first section for issue 1, is even if they are confronted with some evidence of criminal activity, that does not necessarily transform it into a custodial interrogation. He's not confronted with any evidence of him committing a crime. It's just, did this happen where you say it is? And when we look at the entire context of the conversation, the tone and manner, this is not an aggressive confrontation of him being a suspect. This is, tell us what happened. Where's the location? Who are the victims? What, did anybody have a beef with you? Are you posting on social media? They're trying to figure out what happened, what is going on, the basics of the investigation. And I believe all 3 witnesses testified, we believe he was a victim at the time of that. It's a reasonable person standard. The fact that he is having, you know, that they're documenting his injuries, that's normal in nearly any crime. A victim of domestic violence is going to have their injuries photographed. A victim of domestic sexual battery is going to be transported to the sexual assault treatment center for potential examination. And they have the right to refuse, which is what the officers testified to. Had he wanted to refuse, we would have abided by that. There's no evidence, pardon me, there's no evidence supporting that this was a custodial interrogation or ever transformed into a custodial interrogation. Miranda warnings were never required for this because, as the officers testified to, at the time that they were questioning him, they believed Mr. Henry to be a victim of this. That's all I got.
Thanks, I'll give you the last word. You guys want?
But if I may, I have to disagree with the statements. I do think that the beginning portions of the transcript were replete with instances of the detectives confronting Mr. Henry with what they believe evidence of him lying and not telling the true story of what happened here. We see it in the second question. The first question is Henry, but the second question is the evidence doesn't show that it happened there. You lied to us, you're not telling us the truth. If you go on to page 3, you see them confront him on the bottom. Here's the hard part. We're having a real hard time trying to understand is that we shut down the entire area. We had officers on the shoulder walking out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They go on, but they end with nothing to what you said adds up. You're lying, Mr. Henry. You're not telling us the truth. We think there's more to this. Later on, they go on, we should expect to find evidence here. And they're describing that to him. Right now, there's nothing, okay? I kind of think I know what happened because I got information that something else happened on the east side of the city. But you know, it sounds similar to your thing, but you need to tell us. You need to be straight up with us, okay? Next question. You're doing your friends a disservice. So repeated examples of them telling him at the beginning of the statement, what you said to us is untrue. You are lying to us. We've done an investigation. The evidence that we have doesn't match what you're saying. We're confronting you now with the lack of evidence to support your story. So clearly, they're confronting him with evidence of his guilt or involvement in some way in either the accessory after or the murder itself. And as far as arranging for a ride to go home and being in a ride along with the officers, that matters not as to what the environment was when Mr. Henry gave his statement in that hospital. He he has testified to this court, he does not feel he was free to leave. This court's going to evaluate that based on a reasonable person standard in his position. Whether or not he's in handcuffs when the statement occurs, again, matters not. There are officers, he was not free to leave the hospital room, he go to the restroom. I think it's easy to understand that had he stood up and walked out of the hospital, they would have stopped him. He had been there for some time before the statement occurred. They were collecting evidence, because there was a crime scene, including evidence, GSR from his hands, taking his clothes, things of that nature. Things that a reasonable person would not understand to be happening to a victim of a crime, or someone who may be a suspect of a crime. And at the very end, Judge, whether the officers have testified they believe him to be a suspect or not matters not, as the case law tells us. In Stansbury versus California, 511 U.S. 318, the police officer's subjective view of the individual is not bearing on whether or not the person believed they were in custody, whether they express it or not to you. It's what happened to Mr. Henry that day, and was he reasonable in believing he was not free to leave? Was his physical emotion, or was his right to decide what to do next curtailed by the action of the officers? And we would submit that it is clearly, if you evaluate it just in the vacuum of that room prior to the statement. Thank you.
Okay, listen, although normally the best practice would be for me to give you all a written order on there, I'm just gonna work the bench, because of the time constraints that we're under here, we set the trial, commence the jury selection next Wednesday. So regarding the defendant's motion to suppress, statements of Cortland Henry, number one, I find witness Jordan Cox to be credible. I find witness Stephen Toyota to be credible. I find witness Mark Moretti to be credible. For the most part, I find witness Cortland Henry to be credible, except maybe as this handcuff issue. I just don't know. There's no evidence in front to the contrary. So let me put a couple things on the record right up front. Number one, it's clearly interrogation. Okay, there's no issue about that. They're asking him questions like, did you fire a gun that day? Did you have a gun that day? All right, those are questions that are meant to elicit or could elicit an incriminating response. It's clearly interrogation. That's not an issue. Number two, certainly the best practice would be for homicide detectives to just advise the person of his rights. And were they to advise him of his rights, then we don't have to go through this 2-day procedure. And I'm not called upon to make this determination. But for whatever reason, law enforcement doesn't really seem interested in doing that on a lot of these cases. So I have to make this determination. So really, the whole ball game here is whether he's in custody. And I'm familiar with the case law that the state cited. I reviewed it again. I'm familiar with the case law the defense cited. I reviewed it again. The bottom line is, I don't think he is in custody. And I'll put the reasons why on the record. Let me also make this clear. If I had a photo in front of me, and I don't care where it was taken, if it was taken outside in the bay of the emergency room entrance, if it was taken inside the hospital, I mean, there's video cameras all over these hospitals. Maybe not the treatment rooms, but if I had any picture or any video of anything anywhere at any point in time Mr. Henry had handcuffs on, I'd probably feel differently about this, but I don't. I have nothing that supports that in front of me, number one. Number two, they did in fact let him go. Number three, I think this defense is trying to give law enforcement too much credit. This is just a few hours after a double homicide occurs. And they're trying to, I guess, infer some nefarious purpose on behalf of law enforcement, that they knew Mr. Henry was a suspect, that they knew Mr. Henry was going to be charged. This is the perjury trap that the defense relies on or mentions in their motion. I don't think they had any idea what had happened up to this point. It was just a few hours after a double homicide. They're just trying to figure out what's going on, to the point of putting Mr. Henry in a car and driving him to the scene that he says where this took place, because they're trying to figure it out. So they had no idea what was going on. They certainly didn't have any idea that Mr. Henry was going to end up being a defendant in this case. That seems to be corroborated by the fact that he doesn't even get arrested until more than 3 months after the fact. If he had ever asked to leave, I would feel differently about this. If he had ever told any witness anywhere that he didn't want to talk to them anymore, I would feel differently about this. He did no such thing. Again, based on the totality of the circumstances, I'm supposed to determine this. I listened to the questioning. I agree with the state in this part. It wasn't what I would call an intensive or aggressive questioning by the detectives based on their tone of voice and based on what they're trying to find out. They actually kind of go out of their way several times to say, listen, we don't care if you had drugs. We don't care if you were committing another crime. We don't care about anything else. We're homicide detectives. We're trying to find out what went on in the homicide. As to the defense's argument that there is a large police presence at the hospital, I would suspect that if any person in this room drove up to the hospital right now with 2 dead bodies in their car, there would be a very large police presence that would respond almost immediately to that location. So that in and of itself doesn't really sway anything in my mind. I think any reasonable person would have to expect that you drive up to the entrance of an emergency room with 2 dead people in your car who were shot, that you're going to be confronted with a rather large law enforcement presence almost immediately. So again, based on the totality of the circumstances, where I do find that the best practice would have been to advise him of some Miranda rights, and where I do find that this was in fact interrogation, I do find, based on everything that I've put on the record, that Mr. Henry was not in custody. Therefore, respectfully, the defense motion to suppress both the statements is going to be denied. I'll enter a written order that reflects such. If and when we arrive at the part of trial where the state tries to introduce this, that would be over the defense objection, which I would consider to be preserved, renewed, and contemporaneously made. So I'll enter a written order as to that. Next, state, you filed a state unopposed motion for relief from trial order dated July 8th, 2024, and that was for the purposes of filing a motion in limine to exclude the testimony of potential witnesses Michelle Boutros and Christine Bradley. I think you all told me yesterday the defense has no objection to your unopposed motion for relief from the trial order to file the motion, number one. And number two, the motion in limine is otherwise moot because they don't intend on calling Michelle Boutros or Christine Bradley as witnesses. State, is that correct?
I believe that's still correct.
Defense, is that correct? Okay.
The way it stands, I don't believe we would.
All right, so.
And should that happen, we can address it.
Okay, well, as far as the motion for relief, just to file your motion, that's granted, and I'll enter a written order as to that. Regarding the state's motion in limine, I'll defer on that, and I'll enter a written order. And if no one calls them as witnesses, it's not an issue. And if someone's going to call them as a witness or wants to, I'll address it and give you a ruling on that. And if that requires me to send the jury out and even take a proffer from either one of these witnesses, it doesn't seem like it's going to be too long in time, but I'll take a proffer from them if I need to outside of the presence of the jury before I make a ruling. Although I can tell you, I have no policies, but as a general rule, credibility of witnesses is always at issue. So if we're talking about the credibility of a witness in the case, a witness that one side or the other side needs the jury to believe to have the jury believe their version of the facts of the case, then I would probably be hard pressed to say that I would prevent any witness testimony in front of the jury in that regard. But I'll enter all 3 of those orders today. Ms. Wilcox, this one on top is granted, the reasons stated on the record, and then the motion limiting underneath is deferred for reasons stated on the record.
The motion hasn't actually been filed yet. You just have to
Oh, you're going to
motion
file
for
it. I'll
relief. So
consider it.
file it today, but we won't.
Do they have a
send it
copy of it?
anything.
They already have a copy of it?
Yes, they already have a copy.
All right, so I'll consider the state's motion in limine based on my ruling granting the relief from the trial order filed today, which is September the 5th, and I will defer ruling on it based on what I already put on the record. State, is there anything else that you need me to do for you regarding Mr. Henry today?
Not today, Your Honor. Thank you.
Defense, is there anything else that you need me to do regarding Mr. Henry today?
Not today. Thank you.
So Mr. Henry's going to keep a couple dates. Number one, next Tuesday, September the 9th at 1:30 p.m. We'll call that a trial status. So the record is clear on this. If there's going to be some sort of resolution, it has to be Tuesday afternoon. I can't take it Wednesday morning because I'm going to have the jurors here. There's simply too much human resources involved with this. And if Mr. Henry's case does resolve, and again, to repeat what I said yesterday, it doesn't matter to me whether it does or it doesn't. I have a couple other murder trials that are in line with in-custody defendants. And I will use those jurors.
Not bring him here at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, just sign it. We'll give you a blank order. Just fill it out that says I need him here Tuesday, September the 9th at 1:30 p.m. 1:30 p.m. Mr. Henry, Tuesday would be the last day you're dressed like that. If we go forward with the trial on Wednesday, I need you in your trial clothes, okay? Dress for trial on Wednesday. We're gonna have jurors here Wednesday. And then he has, besides the September 9th date at 1:30, he keeps his trial dates for September the 10th at 9 o'clock.
I don't need it order for 1:30 at all, when it's for lunchtime.
However you want to write it up.
Yeah, when it's 1:30, they usually bring on the afternoon bus.
Yeah,
When
that's
they bring-
what
Yeah.
They'll walk over,
Yeah.
I'll take care of it. When?
Yeah, just,
Okay. When I need it.
okay.
Thank
Okay, very good. I already sent you preliminary jury instructions. For the benefit, Mr. Haddad might be the only person I haven't done this with. Mr. Nascimento did it some years ago, but I bet he remembers. And Ms. Collins did it far more recently. But on Wednesday, the only thing I'm going to do is march in 5 panels of 50 at a time. I'm going to have the same trial schedule without the case information sitting in each chair. So they're going to be told that I need them from September the 10th through up to and potentially October the 10th, Friday, October the 10th. There's 2 court holidays in there, Tuesday, September the 23rd, and Thursday, October the 2nd. I'm going to talk to each of those jurors regarding their ability to serve only as to the statutory reasons that I can excuse them. Regarding the schedule only, the lawyers won't have to say anything on Wednesday, September the 10th. Once I get 60 people is the maximum that I can see in here for a jury panel. So if and when we arrive at 60 people that tell me that they can serve, they're going to be numbered 1 through 60. They're going to come back Thursday morning. When you all leave here Wednesday, you will have a copy of my questionnaire that they have filled out. It's going to be numbered 1 through 60 and a seating chart so you know where each of those jurors are going to sit. And then starting Thursday morning, we are only going to address those jurors by their numbers. I have lanyards numbered 1 through 60. Mr. Court Deputy is going to pass them out every morning. He's going to collect every afternoon when we're done with the jury selection process. So we're not going to refer to anyone's name on the record. State, you'll know the names because you'll have the list. Defense, you'll know the names because you'll have the list. And I know the names. But again, pursuant to the pretrial orders that I've already entered, everyone's continued to be ordered. We're not going to disclose those names to anyone else. If any of the jurors' names are otherwise released to the public in any way, shape, or form, because I've already ordered the clerk not to do that as well, I am going to conduct an investigation to determine where the names are released from. And if I find out that someone has violated any of those pretrial orders that I entered, I will conduct an indirect criminal contempt proceeding immediately. So I would highly hope that everyone will comply with those orders. We're only going to refer to the jurors by number starting Thursday morning. I think that's it. State, anything else you need me to address before we recess until Tuesday at 1:30?
No, you aren't.
Defense, anything else that you need me to address until Tuesday at 1:30?
No, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to see Mr. Henry next Tuesday, September the 9th at 1:30 p.m. Division, Ms. Wilcox, that concludes Division FT for today. Division FT is going to be in recess until Tuesday, September the 9th at 8:45 a.m. I hope y'all have a good rest of your morning. All right. Mr. Court report. That is it.
Have a good one, Jerry.
Wow. So he has, right before jury selection starts Wednesday morning, right? So the judge is having him come back on Tuesday at 1:30. So I'll send out a new notification for that one. I guess what they were trying to do as the defense saying that he was not read his rights, and they treated him and trying to get the case thrown out. So I guess with them trying to dispute what the officers testified to yesterday in regards to when he was first arrested and when he was questioned in the hospital, because we listened to his hospital interview. It didn't sound like it was any pressure or anything. And they said after the hospital interview, he kind of and After the hospital interview, he took them to where everything was where everything happened, right? And that seems normal. Like you come pulling up to a hospital and you got 2 unalive people in your vehicle. If you were not the person that did it, you want to assist the officers in everything that you can to find the person that did it. So everything that he did was pretty normal. That would be normal. And now he's trying to act like he was forced to do some things when he wasn't, and the judge didn't buy it, right? So that was denied to keep those statements out of court. So that was what the defense was trying to see, if they were going to be able to keep those statements out of court before they proceeded on to the trial. So nope, that didn't happen. So he either decides that he wants to take this plea deal, or hey, just come in your suit. You won't be in this orange. Don't come back. Look, Wednesday, come in your suit, because the jury be here. I done told you, the judge, like, I done told you what's going on, how this going down. You know what's all on the table. You know what's coming in. You know what evidence we got against you. So, take the deal or just come in your suit, homie. Like, just come in your suit. We ain't even got to discuss this no more. No, I don't have time to deal with this on Wednesday. We about to pick this jury. Yeah, I'm sure he has. Well, we know he got parents now. I don't know what their involvement is, but I'm sure he got people in his life that's telling him things. He does look like he has some good attorneys, right? Because they pulling out all the stops that they can, and they want to take it where they're not even going to court, right? Thank you, Virginia. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're going to love it here. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we shall see what he decides. I thought he was going to make his decision today, but I guess not. They have some more stuff that they wanted to talk about. They got some more stuff that they want to talk about. So I'll give us an opportunity. Do y'all want to finish watching the rest of the evidence video that we had playing earlier? Because I just paused it. It's about maybe 8 more minutes. So let's go ahead and finish up the video that we had showing the evidence. And in regards to this so-called drive-by, like, they can tell, like, where they think that these people are so stupid. That's what I want to know. These investigators, they are not stupid, guys. Like, come on. Oh, wow. That's crazy work. Like, I just don't even understand it. Like, I just don't understand. I don't get it. You say free them. Oh no. I don't know. I don't think he ever getting out. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that one gonna work. I don't think that one gonna fly with them. They want him so bad they can taste it. You say money talk? I don't think no money could talk for him. If money could talk, it would have talked and all these. He been locked up. He been in prison since 2018. Well, if he didn't do it, I would definitely want the right people. Virginia says, did someone get unalived here or what? Please, money away talks. I don't. No, he didn't. He still has until the 9th. Next Tuesday at 1:30, he has to make a decision. If not, the judge told him to come dressed in his suit Wednesday. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and finish playing the evidence that they brought in the Melly trial to show that, hey, this was not a drive-by.
What are we looking at here?
That is a sock, a Jeep Compass user guide, and a box.
And what photo marker were these documented at the previous set of photos?
Photo marker 13.
Going on to this next photo, still at photo marker 13. What are you showing here?
I am showing the opposite side of both the sock and the Jeep Compass user manual and the interior of the box.
Moving on to item number 15. That is what?
That is a disposable lighter.
Did the Miramar Police Department policies and procedures allow you to maintain that item in evidence?
No.
Why not?
Because of the combustible nature of the liquid inside.
So the documentation of this evidence is just the photographs.
That is correct.
Moving on to item 16. What photo marker were these items documented under?
Photo marker 16.
And what are we looking at here?
This is a belt, a disposable lighter, a pair of scissors, and a blue container.
Inside the blue container, based on your training and experience, what did that substance appear to be?
I observed a green leafy substance inside of the container.
Did it have any odor associated with it?
I do not recall.
Moving on to the next item number, what are we looking at here?
This is a Gatorade bottle with red stains on it.
And what photo marker was it documented at?
Photo marker 17.
Moving on to the next photo marker. What are we looking at here?
This is a water bottle, I believe a black plastic cap, a Gatorade bottle, also with red stains on it, and a white plastic bag with red stains, and containing a green plastic cap and a spent bullet casing.
Moving on to the next photo. Where was this casing located when you took the item out of the car?
The casing was located in a white plastic bag that was found on the rear driver's side floorboard.
Was it visible until you removed the bag?
No, it was not.
Moving on to this next photo with the scale and the large number 18. What are we looking at here?
This is a closer-up photo of the spent cartridge casing that was collected from the white plastic bag.
And if you'd be so kind as to tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what is on the next photo that we're looking at and have zoomed in on.
This is the head stamp of the spent cartridge casing that reads Blazer 40 S&W.
And I'm not going to assume anyone is familiar with firearms or anything of that. So could you please give the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what is a bullet cartridge or an unfired bullet?
A unfired bullet comprises of a projectile that is the front end of the cartridge casing, and the cartridge casing comprises of gunpowder, a primer, and when the primer is struck, the gunpowder there's an explosion that happens with the cartridge casing expelling the projectile.
In a revolver, what happens to the casing, the cartridge casing that we're looking at here?
The cartridge casing stays within the cylinder.
if it is a semi-automatic firearm or automatic firearm, what happens to the casing?
The spent cartridge casing is ejected through the injection port on the semi-automatic weapon.
So the projectile that we're looking at in some of the other photos, that would be contained with a casing to make a unfired bullet.
Sorry, repeat that.
So for some of the projectiles that you've seen in the other photos that you documented, like for example, at photo marker 7 and 24 on those would be part of an unfired bullet along with a casing.
Correct.
Moving on to the next item that you collected. What were these?
These are 2 white sandals and a blue plastic container.
Is this a different blue plastic container than the one that was in the back seat?
I do not recall.
When determining the contents of this blue plastic container, what did you observe inside?
I observed an unknown green substance.
Moving on to item number 20. Where were these items recovered from?
These were at photo marker 20 to know where in the vehicle they were collected. I would have to refer to my report.
So those, after those photos were taken, I want to now move on to the items that you actually collected.
So that's the evidence that they have in the yeah OnlyFans, right? Exactly. That's what I wanted to, yeah. So that's the evidence that they showed in Melly's trial against them, you know, kind of just showing that, hey, this was not a drive-by. And we listened to his interview from the hospital that they were arguing about this morning. We listened to that yesterday. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that really was interesting. Well, and we looked at the video on how they were seated. If any of y'all missed that is on the channel page. If y'all want to look at it, but that stuff is on there. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how people say that they didn't do it with all this evidence that they have. And then they had this guy that testified. I guess one of the homies, was testifying, talk about he smoked. He should have smoked weed before testifying. That, oh, this is the guy that was on the stand. Because I think they had somebody in the testifying this. Wait a minute, let me see. A friend testified. Let me see if I can find his testimony. Let me see if I can find his complete testimony for us. It's 2 of them that testify. One defends him, and then the other one, he don't defend him. So I'm assuming they're gonna probably be calling some of the same people. So I'll show y'all his testimony real quick.
Sure. Watch it.
Okay. So after the hospital, you went to Frito's house,
To the best of my knowledge,
okay? And what were you doing at the house?
still grieving.
Okay. Who took you to the hospital?
The cameraman,
Okay, do you recall his name?
Drew.
Right. And do you recall who took you from the hospital to Frito's house?
Same person.
All right. And before you left for the hospital, or actually, who went to the hospital with you and Drew?
Just Drew.
Okay. Who was at the house, Melly's house, before you left for the hospital?
Same people that was there when we got there.
Okay. And same people being the 4 people that entered the Mitsubishi?
Yes.
So you're at Frito's house. You mentioned, and I forgot exactly where you were in the house. Did you say where you were?
Drew was wrong.
No, not Melly's house, Frito's house. Where were you in Frito's house?
Outside.
Okay. And who was at Frito's house when you first got there?
Everybody that wasn't in the house.
Okay, and it's because I don't know who everybody was or is, can you please specify?
Kobe, Melly. I'm on people I have to remember.
Okay, was that the first time you saw Melly after you guys left the studio?
Yeah.
Was Melly wearing the same clothes or different clothes than when you saw him at the studio?
It was a new day. Nah, it wasn't.
Nah, he wasn't, you guys
Wasn't
specified.
wearing the same clothes.
Okay, do you recall what he was wearing?
Just had on some shorts.
And how long did you stay at Frito Bane's house?
I don't know.
Like minutes, hours, days,
Could be minutes, could be hours.
okay? So not days,
Not even a day.
okay. And so when you got to Frito's house, was it light or dark outside?
Just like
And you previously said yourself and Melly and someone else was at Frito's house. Was Frito there as well?
I think I did see him. I don't remember.
Okay. What happens while you're there? Like you're there, you're outside, what happens?
Grieving.
Okay. And you're grieving, are you grieving alone?
Yes.
Are you at the house, at any point in time, do more people come to the house or do people leave the house?
If they did come, I don't know. I was in the back.
Okay.
I was back there grieving.
At any point in time, did Melly leave Frito's house?
It came to the point when I was there by myself.
All right. So you were there by yourself. So the people that you previously said were there were no longer there, correct?
Right.
And so do you know where they went during that time?
I don't.
All right. And we're still talking about October 26th of 2018, correct?
Yes.
And this would be shortly after the hospital?
Yes.
All right. At some point, does Melly come back to Frito's house?
Around this time, I'm still grieving and getting a little, I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess Melly comes back,
Yeah, I guess they come back.
right?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. And at some point, does Melly leave again, a second time?
I don't remember anything farther after that.
All right.
Me grieving. That was the last thing I remember was me grieving. I ain't looking different.
All right. So before you end up in Griffin, if I were to show you a statement, would that refresh your recollection as to Melly leaving and coming back a second time?
I suppose so.
Under permission to show him his statement again?
Yes, Council.
Mr. Glass, I'm gonna give you page 5 and page 6. If you can take a look, you can start in the middle and review those pages and look up when you're done. you done? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Did that refresh your recollection?
Somewhat.
Okay, so tell us what you somewhat remember.
I just did.
If you recall, you said you weren't sure, you went to Gifford, and then I asked you if your statement would refresh your recollection. Does your statement refresh your recollection as to whether Melly left again?
I'm not sure if they left. I was grieving.
Okay.
I'm not sure what nobody did. I was grieving.
All right. You mentioned, well, not you mentioned, let's see. I pointed out to you someone was, the person that was wearing the jacket that you identified as Melly was carrying something across his side or his back on the video. Do you recall seeing that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall what that's referred to?
Satchel.
Okay. Can it also be commonly referred to?
Objection. Sustained.
Are you familiar with the term man?
Objection. Watch from sidebar.
Did you see that satchel again after you left the studio? Do you know what was in that satchel?
I don't.
Do you recall seeing anyone else with a satchel that night at the studio?
It's 5 years ago. I don't recall.
Okay. Is there anything that can refresh your recollection as to whether or not anybody else was wearing a satchel?
Supposed to.
If I were to show you the video again, would that refresh your recollection?
Supposed to.
Publishing State 7. I'm going to start Publishing State 7 at 2:19:01. I'm going to pause at 2:19:13. Does the video refresh your recollection as to anyone else that was carrying a satchel?
Yes.
Who, if anyone, was carrying a satchel?
I see Chris for one.
And that's Christopher Thomas.
Yes.
Did you ever have any business relationship with the person I refer to as Track?
No.
Okay. Do you know who Track is?
Not really.
Not really, or
I don't know who he is at all.
do you know of him?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see Track on October 26, 2018 at any point?
No.
Do you recall getting, for the record,
y'all know when he was on the stand, he was like, I should have smoked before I came here, like I should have got high before I got here, right? So it's so funny because Stacey had put in the chat that, I guess he immediately went and did that, right? It is definitely a video, but wait a minute. So this happened so he testified. Let me see if I can get the date that this was uploaded, because I want to see, I can see that.
for the record, what is Frito wearing in the photograph?
Sure. What should?
Okay. So after the hospital, he went to Frito's house.
That's my knowledge.
Okay. And what were you doing at the house?
I mean, so this happened on July the 10th. This guy who testified. Now here is the these people. This is hilarious. Wait a minute.
Right there. Hey, sheriff's on the on, you're gonna get bit. Let me down. Let me down. Sit down.
I'll fix them a little bit, but they're not made for comfort. They're relative. I can fit a finger in them, but I'll loosen them a bit. Stand up, turn around.
On May 30th, 2023, officers in Florida received an anonymous tip that high levels of illegal narcotics were being sold in the local area. While conducting the briefing, it was noted that one of the suspects was known as Trevion Glass. Mr. Glass is a key witness in the high-profile YNW Melly case where he is accused of homicide. He was one of the few witnesses who saw the victims on the night of the crime.
Let me see. Who is this? Wait a minute, y'all. Okay, so this is from Unspoken. Only so I can get them credit, guys, of who stuff I be using, who got it on here. Okay, that's why I can go ahead and clip it and put it on there.
Going outside, Doc?
When officers arrived with the search warrant, they saw multiple low-level dealers running out of the house, attempting to evade law enforcement officers who were trying to make arrests.
Nah, he went that way.
Just south of 4369 33rd Ave. Got a bunch of cars back here. Do you guys have somebody available to come back here with me? Hey, Sean, did it sound like you kept running, or are you like laid down in the woods? All right. Get out. Get over here. I'm going to tase you. 1190. I got him underneath this trailer. You better get out. I'm going to give you about 4 seconds to get out from that trailer, and I'm going to tase you. Climb out fast. Faster.
Oh my God.
Faster. Roll on your stomach.
Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
I got you. Get your arm.
Get your arm out from underneath you. Yep.
Double
glasses real quick. Got a little too? Yeah. Roll over on your side. What's your name? Speak up. You have enough energy to run. You can have enough energy to talk. Drew what? Get up on your side.
RINGTON.
Yeah.
325.
All right, I'm gonna read something to you. I want you to listen up, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have your lawyer present with you while you're being questioned.
Wait a
If
minute.
you cannot afford
Where's his arrest thing at? I ain't thinking about all these other people.
Hey, sheriff's on the canine, get a gun, you're gonna get bit! Let me see your hands! Let me see your fucking hands! Get down! You got one back there. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. There's a canine in that truck. You run, you're gonna get bit, you understand?
What's going on, sir?
Woo! Hey, make me run today.
Ready, sir?
I'll tell you in a second. You get that one?
Are they chasing the ball down?
Can I get up, sir? I ain't gonna run. I promise.
1 second.
I'm gonna get all these ants off me. I want to win, man.
Knees to your chest. Stand up.
Which one is this?
This way. You can't, you got one of the runners.
That's your question, sir?
Yeah, there's a search warrant. You ran from it.
Huh?
It's a search warrant.
I understand that. Well, search warrant for.
You should have ran.
Okay, but if I'm just on the porch, the search warrant, and I run, that's it.
It's called resisting.
Okay. And then, who the search warrant for?
The whole house.
The whole house?
Yep. And anyone on it. Anything illegal on you?
Nah, I just got my phone. You mind if I just sit outside the car instead of putting me in?
What's up? You're not going back there as a dog. Go ahead, have a seat on your butt right here.
Go ahead.
If you can fit on it. They're not too tight. Sitting on it might be tight, but you can fit a finger in them.
Damn, you see my phone?
I got your phone.
You got it. Can I do it?
Not right now, man.
Oh, that's
I just want to look up my girl number.
Not right now. You might not even go to jail. It's up to them. What's your name?
Trevion.
Trevion, what?
I knew I should have put my fucking white shoes on.
They ain't get messed up too bad.
I really did. Please, I just want to make one phone call.
If you go to jail, I'll probably, if you stay cool, we'll get your phone number, make a phone call. But right now they're dealing with that, and I'll get to you here in a second.
I need some medical attention too.
For what?
My leg.
What's wrong with your leg?
I feel like it's bleeding.
Bleeding from what? You ran through a grass field. What leg? This one? Yeah.
Oh, this is me.
Oh, you got your medical attention, man. You go to jail, the nurse will look at you. But
see how
wrong with that mess?
What? I got you. You made it. I thought you were like sliced open.
So what caused this?
Honestly, don't know. I'm not with the drug unit. I'm just with the canine unit. That's why I'm on the outside, not in there.
Gotcha. So what's on the inside?
What do you mean?
You're just the canine unit. What's all that?
A SWAT team, whole 9 yards. Drug unit, DEA, ATF. Everyone. You got warrants?
I've been working.
Why'd you run then? Don't mess with the police like that.
Man, I just know. Even though I've been doing good this whole time, it's gonna do good for me to be stopped by y'all.
You on probation? Have a seat, man. I know. Have a seat.
You ain't gotta worry about me running, bro.
What's up?
I said, you ain't gotta worry about me running.
I'm not really worried about that. I mean, you're in a handgun. You could try. I mean, we'll make it too far, I don't think. If you escape at that point, that's a felony. I definitely have to let the dog out on that one. What? I mean, yeah, you got your name, but...
Right now.
The way them handcuffs sit on my veins right here.
I'll fix them a little bit, but they're not made for comfort. They're relative. I can fit a finger in them, but I'll loosen them a bit. Stand up.
Wait
around.
a minute. Who is that we looking at that testified against Melly? Okay, Fredo is the heavier dude with the shorter locks. Okay. This guy that we just watched him testify against. Well, I don't want to say testified against, but he testified that he saw Melly change his clothes. And now we are watching his arrest video. Which one is this? We know the driver is, he the driver of what? The driver of what? Because it's to my understanding that Bortlen drove into the hospital, or y'all talk about he was the driver when they left the studio. Gosh, I guess if they go to trial, we're gonna need a chart. Because I don't know who that be. Right, Virginia? Right? We gonna get a chart. Driver of the second car when he left the studio. Got it. Now I understand. Because I'm like, well, the driver that took him to the hospital was this Bortlen. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna need a whiteboard. So we can know how everything is connected. Yikes. That's a lot. I didn't get that.
I don't even know, bro. I just got up, got out the shower.
Just got up and just got out of the shower, and you went to go get something that you were not supposed to be going to get, and you running. You done did a lot. You done had a busy morning. This is May 30th, 2023 at 11:23. I'm assuming a.m. since he said he just got up.
Just got up and got out the shower. Put some clothes on. That's it.
Come on.
My phone?
Yeah, we're this way.
Oh, my phone, I did that? I hold my phone.
Yeah, well, I'll give it to whoever's taking custody of you.
Yeah.
There's no one taking custody of you.
So what you doing?
I'm gonna go check where he ran.
Trash one.
Transporting?
Yeah.
Him? Black shirt right here, and then blue shirt.
Okay.
Straight down the in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, he loaded up.
Okay.
I'm calling on
Where did they go? CID or
Just that.
They got warrants?
No, just getting do a header for resistance.
Just get patted down real quick. You have anything on you? Stick poke me? Anything around your balls and your side of your crack of your ass? Okay.
Everybody dusted your ass, huh? Yeah, I got him. I know.
Nah, my man. Did you see the car?
I'll make everything out of a fucking joke.
Well, clear. Wow. Yeah, they do talk about this stuff in songs, right? Like, really? That's what we doing here? So it looks like we have next Tuesday he gets to decide if he's going to take this plea deal or not. I think the defense, you know, they tried to keep his statement that we listened to yesterday in regards to his hospital interrogation out of the file, but that didn't happen. So that was denied. So I guess now it's either he's going to be doing it or he's not. Once again, shout out to Unspoken Crime Murder. So we watched the video of him running. I will drop his link and his information in our description. If anybody wants to go check out his page, he has a lot of videos. if you like to see those arrest videos and dash cams, all types of stuff. Wow. I have to check him out, y'all. You got it. You got it on there. Hello, therapist. How are you, my darling? So I'll definitely put his link in the chat room. Shout out to that channel for Unspoken Crime Murders. I guess I can say that. It's his channel's name. He's on YouTube. YouTube. They will ding you for anything. Oh boy. So guys, we are going to be watching the Austin Drummond preliminary hearing, looking at what we have for this mass unaliving, right? Yeah. So we are going to be looking at that very shortly. So do you guys, I am going to get the link for everybody. My sound is funny. Let me put nothing else. Oh, that's why. Something else playing. Sorry. I don't know why it's playing. Sorry. It was something else playing in the background. I don't know why it was playing, but it was playing. So we are going to go and watch the Austin Drummond preliminary hearing on his mass unaliving charges. I have not seen it. So I will be dropping the link for anybody that wants to come over and watch it with us. I'm going to keep it separate from this one because I don't want it to be mixed with this this case, if that makes sense. So I am dropping the link. If you click on the link, it will take you over to the new studio where we'll watch the Austin Drummond preliminary hearing. If not, then I will catch you guys at the next preliminary hearing that we have Tuesday. Maybe he'll take it to trial, right? Who knows? The judge told him to come up dressed in his suit if he decided that's what he want to do, right? Tuesday is the last chance. If not, we selecting the jury. Right? So it's all up to him. So here's the link, guys. Tanya said, where the link at? Girl, bye with that mess. Where the link? Yeah, here's the link, guys. I posted it in there. If you're not coming over, definitely have a great weekend, and shall see you in these YouTube streets, because I'll be looking for y'all out here in these YouTube streets. Believe it or not, y'all know I don't like being treated like a side chick. So I'll be out here searching for y'all and checking y'all out and seeing what y'all doing out here, how y'all mistreat me. All right. Well, y'all know y'all were in the right place today, where there are no filters, right? No fluff, just facts. So you can be the judge. All right, cool beans. I will see y'all. Peace.